Make sure you don't fall in love with it to an extent that you start eating it every day. Only take it as a medicine. Hi, my name is Shrikant and welcome to our channel Happy Belly Fish, where we learn to cook delicious, beautiful recipes that is healthy for you. But today, I'm not going to talk about some recipe or make you feel hungry. I'm going to talk about something that's very important and is in season. It's autumn, guys. Seasons change and our bodies kind of react adversely to it and we all fall sick. If not us, somebody in our family, our loved ones fall sick. And all you see in autumn is people running around with this tissue paper, coughing, or constantly wiping their running noses. It's a very uncomfortable situation for everyone. So what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about what you can do for your loved one with all the things that you have at home. Towards the end, I'm going to show you a recipe that I've had since my childhood. It will be a halwa that will be made with ginger and turmeric, and I've given step-by-step details. So make sure you stay till the end and watch this recipe. So let me start with the simplest recipe or remedy of all: garlic. Now, garlic is something even Dracula was scared of, right? Because of its sharp taste and smell. In almost every culture, garlic is considered as healing. So how do you eat garlic? Nobody loves eating raw garlic. You might have people who pickle garlic actually, so that's also a great way for you to eat the entire, clove of garlic in one go. But if you don't have those pickled garlics with you, then what you can do is just finely grate the garlic and add it to honey, mix it with honey and then eat it. So this is a nice way for you to actually start eating garlic when you're not feeling very well. If you have flu or cold symptoms, this is one of the best medicines that you can go for readily. But kids will not love it. But even you don't like the sharp flavor of garlic, then what you can do is just warm it or heat it on a pan, and then the skin will come off and it will also not keep the garlic's flavor so sharp. It will mellow it down a little bit. And talking about honey here, one thing I must say is that if you're already doing it, great, but if not, then switch to honey that is wild or honey that is not heated. The more refined or even any kind of refinement that goes into honey is actually robbing it of its nutrients and all its healing property. One of the things you will always hear, especially when you have running nose or cold, is that stay hydrated. Now, cold water is something that you should not drink. You should actually start drinking warm water. So you can drink different types of tea, but suppose if I tell you that, okay, just go and have warm water, you probably wouldn't. Nobody actually enjoys it so much. You can have it once in the morning, but throughout the day, nobody does it. What you can do actually is infuse this warm water or hot water with spices and keep them in a thermos flask so that you can drink it throughout the day. What kind of spices can you use here? Some of the most beneficial spices that you can use here is ajwain. You can use star anise seed. You can also use berries like juniper berry, or you can add ginger and cinnamon together and then drink it together. If you have none of this and you have this mint tea bags with you, even they are considered to be extremely beneficial in such situations. And mint tea is something that anybody can have of any age. Of course, not the babies, for them it's too sharp, but if you have a baby or a child, I'm not talking about babies to which you cannot give honey, but I'm talking about an age of a child from which you can give them honey very safely. So if you have a child and he will not take any of this spicy water or whatever, then you can just give a teaspoon of honey along with warm water. You can also actually eat warm soups with a lot of black pepper added to it. Black pepper is healing and all that spiciness will actually open up all the nasal passages. So this is also something that you can add to your diet, to your food. Whatever food you get, make sure it's simple food, not too complex, not too fatty, and then just add black pepper and then you will feel awesome and great again. I know it's a lot for you to remember what I can do and what I cannot do, and there are a lot of spices that you can use when you have flu and cold like symptoms. So what I've done is I've compiled a list of all of these spices and other guidelines that is there available for you as a downloadable. Where will you find them? Just go to the description and there you'll find a link and you can download it and use it as you like. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is something that I learned when I got married. And this one is not so spicy, although sometimes I try to make it. So my wife, who comes from Russia, she introduced me to Compote. Now Compote is basically berries mixed with water, which is hot but not boiling. So you don't want to cook the berries in boiling water. That will destroy all its nutrients. So all you have to do is mash these berries. If it's frozen, you can actually do it just by defrosting it. It will mash by itself and then add warm water to it. And then you can drink it throughout the day. One of the things I like about Compote is that any age group will happily drink it. They will not have any problems drinking this. And yes, don't forget, I was talking about a recipe that I wanted to show you very much. This is a recipe from my childhood. This is the bonus recipe that you will see now in detail. Now, this is a recipe which works very well if you have a running nose or cold or even like you're recovering from this sore throat. Just make sure that you don't have it when you're having high temperature, because the combination of all the ingredients here is extremely warming. So it's very easy to make this, and let me introduce you first to the ingredients. So I'm going to use ginger here, and I'm going to use jaggery, and let me tell you, this is sugarcane jaggery, and the darker it is, the better it is for you. Those jaggeries that are very light in color, those are not the ones that you want. They're ultra refined and they don't have any minerals in them. Jaggery is also something that you can always have as it is during colder seasons to warm up your body. Then I'm going to use ghee. Now ghee is the only fat that you can use for this particular home remedy. Ghee is what will carry all the nutrients that are there in turmeric and ginger to every cell in your body. And turmeric. Turmeric is considered to be one of the most healing spices. It's a common kitchen ingredient in every Indian kitchen and in kitchens around the world. It has curcumin, which is extremely healthy for you. It heals your body. It's anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. So make sure this is one of the spices that you will always have in your kitchen, and you can do so many things with it, not just cooking. So I'm going to need about 2 tablespoons of grated ginger, and what we'll do is we'll scrape the skin off, right? You can just use your knife and remove the skin, because this is something that doesn't cook easily, the skin, and then it will give you a feeling of irritation in your throat. So how does this differ from just consuming ginger in your daily diet or turmeric in your daily diet? So remember, when you use spices as medicine, the dosage increases. So no sane person will have this much amount of ginger and about 2 teaspoons of turmeric in one go. It's not good for you. It won't make you feel very good. You won't even be able to eat it. So you can't eat it every day. You have to just use this on those days when you're not feeling well. And like I said, don't eat this if you have very high fever. And then I'm going to finely grate ginger using a grater. It also makes your job easier. So I finely grated the ginger, and you can actually have this recipe made in large quantities so that you can eat it for 2 to 3 days. So remember this, that you will not eat it in dose of 1 tiny teaspoon. You will actually have to eat it in one go, quite a significant amount. That's when your body will warm up and you will feel better. So the recipe is very simple. All you have to do is cook the ginger, add the turmeric, and then sweeten the deal with jaggery. So I'll heat the pan and I'll add a lot of ghee here. So I'm adding roughly 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of ghee. A good quality ghee made from the A2 milk, or even like the ghee that is cultured, is very essential because it has so many nutrients inside that will help you in your healing journey. So make sure that the ghee you eat is not just clarified butter. It's made properly. So the ghee is melted and it's hot now. So I'll reduce the flame to medium. I don't want the ginger to burn very quickly. And now I'm going to add the grated ginger. And we'll have to cook until the ginger softens. We don't want to burn the ginger. We don't want to darken it. We just have to soften it. And this will also take away the sharp flavor from ginger. You know, so much ginger, if you are supposed to eat even half of it, then you will not feel very good. You know, the sharp flavors of the ginger will kind of stand out and you won't be able to take this as a medicine. So it has to be enjoyable. And this helps in softening that flavor and the taste of ginger. I used to actually enjoy this a lot. And my mother used to always make it for me. But when I moved out of the house, grew up, I forgot about it. And each time I went, I was always treated with this every time I felt sick at home. And now, if I'm sick or if anybody in my family is sick, then I make this. Now, the dose that I'm talking about is like, you know, a big, huge tablespoon or even 2 for grown-ups. If you're a child above the age of 6 or 7, then maybe 2 teaspoons of it should be more than enough. I don't think they'll be able to handle more than this. So on a medium heat, you'll cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes. And what you will notice is that the sharp aroma of ginger has mellowed down a bit. And you will also get this nice aroma of this flavored oil coming into your nose, you know. So that's when you know that it's time for you to add turmeric. Now I'm using a very high quality turmeric, Lakadong turmeric, which has very high curcumin content. So not all turmerics are made equal. Remember that. Also, if you want, you can use fresh turmeric. You have to grate it without making your hands yellow. So if you don't have fresh turmeric, which is not always available everywhere, you can always use powdered turmeric. And I'm going to add quite a huge amount of it. I'm going to add about 1.5 teaspoons of it. If you add too much, it will become very bitter. And then just mix it nicely. And just for about a minute you have to cook. And finally you will add jaggery. This will make eating this concoction much more easier for you. And jaggery is also warming. So this is something that you can add. If you don't have jaggery, then don't add honey straight into the pan. Okay, that's not a substitute. But what you can do is allow it to come to a temperature at which you can eat. And then add wild honey. So the jaggery that I'm using is dark, so it's gonna turn this entire mix or this halwa into a very dark recipe. Okay, so don't be worried about the discoloration here. In fact, I like it. It kind of is like a, you know, a candy here. And you will notice that it's sticking to the pan. That's something not to worry about, because if you drink milk, you can actually boil some milk in this pan and you can drink it after as a follow through. So once the jaggery is melted, your recipe is ready. And you can wait for it to cool down to a comfortable temperature and then you can eat it. So if the ginger is sticking to the pan, you can add some milk and boil the milk in it and just keep scrubbing it gently and you can drink this milk. So it will take off all the remaining ginger that is there on the pan and bring it to your milk. The way to eat it is along with the ghee. Okay, so don't discard the ghee here. It will actually help you in recovering from your cold and sore throat and this both dry cough or this running nose kind of cold symptoms that you might have. But the most important medicine of all is your love. One of the things that my mother used to do, she would always put an object that belongs to me. You know, in India, for example, we have kajal. Kajal is like this black soot that they put on the skins of babies. and they would have a holder which is made of iron or cast iron, and they would put it under the pillow. Now this is something that signifies, like, some kind of a tantric thing, that it's an object that will take away all the negative forces that is directed towards you. It will absorb it, like black hole takes away with all its gravity, something like that. And it might kind of sound superstitious, but think about it like this. Somebody says I love you and comes with a bunch of flowers. That flower is at that point of time something that is concentrating all his love, all his expressions in this object. So when I was a child, or maybe when I was growing up, actually I was to think like this is all stupid, but then I realized this is something that mothers always do. It's not just superstition. It's something like, hey, I'm going to be stepping away for some time, but let me put all my love in this particular object so that it's there with you. You don't have to go and find that particular object, but as long as you say to the person who is sick, be it your child, your loved one, that I am there for you, I love you, during this time of you not feeling very great, that person will do everything. All his cells in his body will do everything to recover. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and see you in the next video.